What is up, my fellow creeps? So it looks like Resident Evil 0 might finally be getting the remake treatment, and I couldn't be more excited. This is one of the most underrated games in the entire series, and as much as I love the original game, if these rumors are true, there is plenty I need to see changed. Let's get into it. So recently there has been rumors flying around that Capcom might be working on a Resident Evil 0 remake. Supposedly it's already in active development. And what really caught my attention is that there's a secret internal project over at Capcom codenamed Chamber, which fans think could be a direct reference to Resident Evil 0 and its main character, Rebecca Chambers. There's also reports that actor John McClaren, who voiced Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, might be involved, possibly as Billy Cohen. Now, before we get too deep into speculation, it's worth noting that Capcom has officially confirmed they're open to creating more Resident Evil remakes. They've been extremely successful, and Capcom has even said they believe these remakes are superior to the originals. Based on current insider reports, Code Veronica seems to be next, potentially dropping in early 2027, followed by Resident Evil 0 in 2028. And if that's true, it makes a lot of sense, because 0 gives Capcom a perfect opportunity to expand on the events that led directly into the first game and to weave in more details that connect to the broader story they have been building with the newer installments. They can finally give us more insight into why things unfolded the way they did, not just what happened. Resident Evil 0 is one of the most atmospheric entries in the series. That opening on the Ecliptic Express, the thunder, the rain, the eerie calm before it all hits the fan, it just oozes tension. The settings were fantastic too. The train, the Umbrella training facility, and all of it directly connects to the events of the first Resident Evil and spills over into RE2. The lore around James Marcus, Wesker, and Birkin's betrayal was some of the best early franchise storytelling. So my first hope? Don't lose that. Keep it dark, keep it moody, and keep it creepy. Capcom's nailed modern horror atmosphere. This is the perfect chance to make RE0 feel like the twisted prequel it was meant to be. Alright, let's talk gameplay. As much as I love RE0, it was bloated. Too much backtracking, too many find this item to open that loops. Capcom has already shown they can streamline level design without losing depth. Just look at RE2 Remake. So I'd love to see them tighten up the pacing here. Condense objectives, make the flow smoother, but keep the key set pieces intact. No need to pad it out, just make every area matter. Okay, and I gotta say it. Please, for the love of God, bring back storage boxes. I know, some fans say it breaks immersion, but let's be honest. Constantly dropping items everywhere and running back and forth to grab them didn't make the game scarier or more tense. It just made it tedious and annoying. Not only would I love to see, but I need to see the classic storage boxes return. One thing that made Resident Evil 0 unique was the two-character system, but it never quite reached its potential. Yeah, there were differences. Rebecca, the medic, she's the only one who can mix herbs, fit into small spaces, and for some reason can throw things like a pro baseball player. Billy's the muscle, stronger, tougher, better with weapons, able to move heavy objects. He can't mix herbs and he can't throw to save his life. So the contrast is there, but it rarely mattered enough to make switching between them feel fun or strategic. Now, if they're remaking this game, I want Capcom to double down on this system, but make those differences actually affect how you play, not just who you control. Give Rebecca something unique, maybe a passive healing field that slowly restores Billy's health when they're nearby, or an ability that lets her stabilize his condition faster when he's injured. And Billy could get a combat boost, maybe a short burst stance that improves recoil control, weapon damage, or even lets him knock enemies back when they get too close. These don't have to turn them into superheroes, they just need to make them each feel essential. You should want to switch based on the situation, not just when the game forces you to. And honestly, this could be the perfect setup to bring co-op back. I know some of you didn't like this feature, but I absolutely loved it in 5 and 6. You let players choose between solo play, controlling both, or pair up with a friend online. You could have unique puzzles that require both characters doing separate things at the same time while balancing it with tougher enemies and smarter AI. Done right, the system could make Resident Evil 0 one of the most replayable remakes in the series. The story in the original RE0 was fine, but it could have gone deeper. Billy's past in Africa was teased but never really explained. That's a missed opportunity. Capcom could easily expand on that and tie him to Umbrella experiments or other familiar faces from the franchise. And honestly, I would not mind a playable flashback scene here so we can really know what Billy did and went through. And Rebecca, she is criminally underrated. Give her more depth. Let us see her fears, her moral compass, her doubts as she's thrown into chaos before the mansion incident even happens. Now, they started to do this with the original, but I think they dropped the ball when it came to building her character. Tone-wise, I would love to see a shift away from the cheesier writing of the original.
Sir, please. I need to find him. Don't worry, I'll catch up with you.
And closer to the grounded dialogue of RE2 Remake.
I'm not just gonna leave you here.
I'm giving you an order, rookie. You save yourself first. I'd come with you, but I'd just slow you down.
And please set Billy up for a comeback. The guy just disappears after the game. It's time to give him a future in the series again. Now, like I said before, Capcom has a huge opportunity here to expand on their lore. When the original came out, Resident Evil 4 didn't even exist yet, so Zero was kind of operating in its own bubble. But now with all the context from RE2, RE3, and RE4 Remake and the new direction they're clearly setting up, they can add a lot more depth and tie things together in a way that makes Rebecca's story and Billy's feel more connected to the main series. Even subtle connections or callbacks could make it feel like it truly belongs in the new timeline Capcom is crafting. If Capcom can take everything that made Resident Evil 0 memorable, the atmosphere, the dual character idea, the twisted Umbrella lore, and blend it with modern gameplay while weaving in the updated storyline that Capcom is currently creating, we could see one of the most underrated entries finally get the recognition it deserves. But that's just what I want to see. Now I'm curious, what would you want Capcom to change or add if they really are making Resident Evil 0, or do you think they shouldn't even touch this entry at all? Drop your thoughts down below, and as always, stay creepy, my friends. That is all I got for now.